Email marketing is one of the most effective and powerful ways of building an audience for your business or your brand. Especially in an era where I think we've all come to realize that our social media reach is very much at the mercy of an ever-changing algorithm or whichever megalomaniac is in charge of the platform that week. Well, landing pages are an important part of getting people to sign up to your email list. And today we're going to look at what landing pages are, what makes it a landing page, why they're important and you need them, and then also look at how to build a beautiful landing page in Canva. Hi folks, if we haven't met before, my name is Wayne. I am a creative director and a brand designer, and I help entrepreneurs to make a beautiful impact with their materials. So what are landing pages? So a landing page is any page, usually hosted online, that you send people to with a specific purpose of starting their marketing journey with you there. Now, I've talked about how I think marketing is a journey when I talked about sales funnel in a previous video, which I will link to in the description below this video and in a card up above. And one of the things that is really unique to what we refer to as landing pages is that there is one clear intention when people hit or land on that landing page. There is only one thing we want them to do when they get to that page. That purpose is usually to sign up to your email list. They give us their email address, and in exchange, we give them a free resource or a free download, which we refer to as a lead magnet because it attracts people and they then give us their email address, which we have then as a lead to build into a relationship. Now we're going to talk about what lead magnets are and how to build a lead magnet later on in another video in this series. But today we're just going to focus on those landing pages because they can be such a crucial part when you're doing email marketing. So one of the things people often ask is what the difference is between a landing page and a sales page. And in all honesty, some people use the terms interchangeably. They will refer to a sales page as a landing page. They just see it as a landing page that's much longer with a different purpose. So for them, it's just really the size that matters. For me, I just find it easier to differentiate between the two. So for me, sales pages are usually quite long pages that have multiple sections strategically designed to get people to a point where they are ready to click buy. Landing pages, on the other hand, are usually shorter pages with the specific intention of getting people to sign up for something, to join your mailing list, or to download whatever free resource you're offering. Now, of course, it's not always a download. It could be that you're offering them a free webinar that they're joining or anything like that. But the basic aim is to get them to fill in a form and join your mailing list. So as I said, the important thing really with the landing page is that it's there to get people to take that specific action. So we need to give them enough information on the page that they are ready to join your mailing list, but not so much that it makes them feel overwhelmed. That's kind of the balance that we always want to strike with a landing page. Now, landing pages are not all the same, obviously, but in general, there are some consistencies in successful landing pages that convert well. They have the same kind of sections and they approach it in a very strategic way. You have to really consider what it will take to get those people to give you their email address because that's of value to them. So you need to make sure that they feel that they're getting something in exchange for that. That reciprocity is really important so that people don't feel like they're being taken advantage of, and it feels like actually this is something that benefits both of you. So I'm going to list a few of the sections that are generally considered part of a landing page. And then what we're going to do is have a look through a few examples of high converting landing pages and have a look how those common elements are creatively interpreted on those pages to give you some inspiration for how you could create yours. So first of all, we still talk about the section of the page that's above the fold. Now, obviously, this comes from an old newspaper term. So anything that was really important and you wanted to make sure everybody saw was always above where the newspaper folded. That's where the term comes from. Now, obviously, websites and web pages don't fold, but we do scroll because of the proportions of a web page. So in general, most people try and put the most attention-grabbing part of your landing page above the fold, so in the first part of the website that everyone sees. And often people actually include the form that they're going to embed or the button that they want people to click also above that fold. Now, especially with so many people viewing things on mobile, the whole idea of being concerned about what's above the fold has become a little less important. People have become very comfortable with knowing that you scroll down single-page websites. So it's not as much of an issue anymore, but I would still suggest that you always have your biggest statement that really hooks them in above the fold and some kind of call to action or button, even if that call to action just takes them to another section of the page. So as I just mentioned, one of the biggest and most important parts of your landing page is that first single statement that captures people's attention. It's often referred to as the hook because it's the statement that really grabs people's attention and draws them in. And this can be something that asks them a question, and it usually is connected to either a pain point that they're feeling or an outcome that they really desire. It's something that should be really strong and simple. It's not about being incredibly clever. It's about something that just gets that person to instantly feel like this is for them. On that hero section, which is the top section of that page, there's often usually some kind of visual or image to attract people's attention. After that, what we want is some statement of the benefits that people will get from this freebie that you're giving them, or at the very least, the kind of outcomes that they could see if they apply this in their business or to their life. Another important thing is to have a small section that's about you or about whoever it is that created this for them. It just gives people a tiny insight into the human behind it, and of course it gives people the reason to believe you. Now, this is not supposed to be a very long bio section. This is where you put in your 3-sentence bio. It's just the relevant parts that will make people feel like you are the right person for them to get this particular download from. Again, it comes back to being really intentional with the information that you put on that page. If you've seen any of my other videos, it will come as no surprise to you that the other important thing for me to have on these pages, if possible, is social proof. Just a couple of good, very short social proof statements, quotes, testimonials, or even grabs from social media where people have said nice things about this download. It just acts to reinforce that it's not just you saying this is good, there are other people who also valued it, which makes people feel more inclined to join the list and sign up. And of course, the most important thing to have on the page is your call to action, or if possible, your form that's embedded. It can be an actual form on the page that people just type their details in, but it can also just be a button that they click and then that opens the form. I would suggest that you have that button on multiple sections of the page if it is a longer scrolling page. That way, at any point when people are ready to join or take action, they can click that button and join immediately. Now, as I said earlier, not every landing page has to have all of these elements, but they are generally the elements that are present on highly successful and high converting landing pages. Speaking of which, let's have a look at a few examples, and I will talk you through how these are shown on that page and why I think they're so effective. So the first page we're going to have a look at is this one, which I've taken from Amy Porterfield. Now, Amy teaches people about digital marketing. She's also an author and a course creator, and this is a landing page for one of her free downloads. And you can see in this top panel above the fold, as we said, you have an image of Amy, which helps humanize the whole thing. It's then got a little iPad and some mock-ups of what's actually in the freebie so that it brings it to life for people. You've got a very strong statement, and then you have a subheading that just tells people what's included in it, and then the form itself is embedded in this first panel. Now, as you can see, Amy's hook, or her first statement, that's a great motivator for people. If we then scroll down, you'll see Amy's got an image of her books because she's just released a new book, and then these logos from places that have marked it as a bestseller, which is kind of social proof, basically. It gives people that kind of comfort and makes them feel secure that this is someone who knows what they're talking about. Then in this next section, she talks about what's actually going to be covered in this freebie. And it's just 4 simple questions, and you're going to be guided through these 4 questions to figure out how you take something from not knowing what you want to a great business idea. It feels doable, it doesn't feel overwhelming, it makes people feel like, yeah, I can do this. This is not something that's going to take me 6 months to do. The next section, as I said, is a little bio section that most people include. This one is written as a note from Amy, and again, it makes her relatable, but it also talks about the fact that she has been in that position. So it means that you come away feeling like this is someone who knows what you're going through. And then again, the form and that little mock-up is again repeated at the bottom so that if people At any point when I sign up, they don't have to scroll anywhere, they can just click. There's always a call to action visible in the screen. The next one we're going to have a look at is from Donald Miller, who wrote StoryBrand and runs StoryBrand, which is an organization that helps people optimize their copy and their sales. And Donald has a 3-video series that he gives away for free called this 5-minute marketing makeover. Now, as you can see in this first panel, he has his book again, which immediately adds some kind of qualification to who he is. There's a grab which animates of the video, and then there's these 3 little videos, video 1, 2, and 3, which are shown here, which you can't click on until you've signed up, but it looks like you can, so it immediately kind of engages people. Calling this the 5-minute marketing makeover, again, makes it feel really manageable, feels like it's not going to take too much time for you to do, and so that's really clever to have that as your first strong statement. Then you'll see that there are these buttons in this sort of coral color that say get free access, and they are scattered throughout this page, again, so that anytime someone decides they're ready to click, they can. He then talks about the fact that if your marketing message is confusing, your marketing will fail, and uses 3 statements that he basically has heard from his audience. So this is where you touch on those kind of pain points, on the things that you know your audience really experiences. And then it goes on to a little bit of clarification, calling people out, asking them a question, and making them realize the value or the risk of not doing this. And then again, you'll see the free access buttons on every single section. Then there's social proof, showing that people from all of these well-known brands use Donald's advice and use his knowledge. And then again, a short bio explaining why you should listen to Donald. Of course, landing pages don't have to be that long if they're effective. So this is actually a template from ConvertKit, who I use for my email marketing. And as part of what they offer, they have these templates that you can use as landing pages to get people to sign up or download your freebie. And this is one of their highest converting templates. But it actually still has the same elements we're talking about. You have a big headline which gets people, it hooks them in. You've got a smaller description underneath which you can use to give them a little more information or to touch on the pain points so that they know you understand them. You've got the form where they can put their details in and sign up. And then in the bottom section, you have a small picture of the person that they are downloading this from so that again it humanizes them. A paragraph which allows you to put a very short bio in, and then a couple of bullet points which very clearly just say what will you learn, and it allows you to put in information there about what people will learn, again making it feel really doable and action orientated. And lastly, I wanted to go through and show you what a landing page looks like from Wandering Aimfully, from Caroline and Jason Zook, who are in fact friends of mine and my business coaches, and they have this incredible program called Wandering Aimfully, which is business coaching, or as they call it, unboring business coaching. Now, what I love about this is that this is just a landing page to sign up for their free starter kit, but it's full of their personality and the personality of their brand. Again, they've got a big statement which plays on our pain points and the things that we really want to achieve. It's got these big blue buttons which appear throughout the page, but the color isn't used anywhere else on the page, so they really stand out. It's got these little bits of social proof all the way through the page, which is very, very clever because you just get these tiny snippets of reinforcement as you scroll. And then it's again using just bullet points here on this first panel to tell you exactly what you can achieve using this free starter kit. Then it's got a mock-up which brings it to life. And then it's got another section with a big button and an easy place for you to just put in your email address, and it reiterates what you're getting, these 3 simple exercises, and again this little checkbox on the right hand side. And this is where they add in more of their personality with the emojis, which they are well known for using in their community. And it also shows that they understand what people are looking for, because these are statements that their audience have actually expressed to them. And then again, we have another section that clearly calls out where the button is to click and get your free starter kit. And that's then followed by a few more pieces of social proof so that immediately it feels like people like you are achieving with their free download. So as you can see, all of those pages are very different. They each reflect the personality, the branding, the style of the person or the business who created them. But there are a lot of similarities. They all stick to a kind of common formula, and the reason they do that is because we know that that formula works. And as I'm sure you'll notice, a lot of the sections that we've talked about today are actually sections that we also have in sales pages. There is a lot in common between the two. It's more about creating those sections with the intention of getting people to sign up to your list rather than actually getting them to a point where they're ready to exchange money with you. Now, if you don't know where to start, if you have a look in the link below this video, you can download my free Canva sales page template. Now, this template itself has over 20 sections that are used to build an effective and strategic sales page. But you can actually just pick out the sections that you need for a landing page, delete the rest of them, and use that template to build your landing page based on the ones that we've seen today. So as I say, the link is below this video in the description or on the screen right now. Please go to that link and download your free Canva sales page pack. It's also got a video series that comes with it and a PDF to help you create a sales page, or in this case, a landing page. So you can see landing pages really are one of the key starting points of email marketing. And the reason that email marketing is just so important is because essentially your email list is the only audience list that you own. If Instagram or Facebook or any other social media platforms that you use cease to exist tomorrow, if you don't have another way of contacting and engaging with that audience, you will lose them all. You don't own that list because it's on someone else's platform. With email marketing, it's your list. So if this was interesting for you, please hit the subscribe and the like buttons below this video. And next week, I'm actually going to be building a landing page using my free template that I talked about earlier and showing you how to customize a landing page in Canva so that it reflects your brand and gets people to sign up, join your list, and become part of your community. That's it for today, folks. Have a lovely week. Thanks again.